today is the last day of our Unit 4, so we're talking all about graphing and writing equations. Tomorrow you guys will have your test review, and then on Friday you guys will take your Chapter 4 test. So the last piece of this unit is something called literal equations. So a literal equation is just like a regular solve for x equation. So what we're going to do is on the left side, this is something you know. We know how to solve for x. If we are trying to solve for x, we need to get x by itself. So to get x by itself, there's a 2 in the way. So I can divide both sides by 2. That leaves me with x equals, and then 8 divided by 2 is the number 4. So in this first clue, so in clue number 1, we just solved for x. We divided by 2, and then on the left side, we divided by 2. That left me with 8x equals 4. On the right side, it's the same, but in this one, we don't just have numbers, but we have letters in this one here. So what we do is we need to circle the suspect. The letter that we are solving for, we're going to circle it. So it says in this mystery, we need to figure out suspect T. So I am going to circle the T in this question. We need to get that T by itself. We need to isolate that variable, get that suspect alone. So to do that, we need to get rid of the letter that was in front. Just like we got rid of this 2, we're going to do the same thing to get rid of this R. This is like saying R times T. So to undo multiplication, we are going to divide on both sides. That will make the R go away. So now T is by itself, so T is D over R, which is the same as D over R equals T. So let's try the same idea with clue number 2. So in clue number 2, it says solve for x. Oh, solve for x, you're good at that. To solve for x, we need to circle the letter that we're solving for. To get that x by itself, we're going to start by subtracting 6 on both sides. That leaves me with a 2x, an equal sign, and a 4. We need to get x by itself, so to do that, we divide both sides by 2. So x equals 4 divided by 2 is 2. X equals 2. So we are going to do those same steps on the right, but this time we are solving for L. So I'm going to circle the L. I'm going to draw my border. To get L by itself, we start by moving the piece that is not attached. So there's 2W. So I'm going to subtract this 2W. So that leaves me with 2L equals negative 2W plus P. L is almost by itself. To get it completely alone, we divide by 2. So now L equals negative 2 divided by positive 2 is a negative 1W plus P over 2. So we got L by itself by moving the W and dividing the number that was in front. So it's just like solving an equation. We do the same steps. We're just moving letters instead of moving numbers. Next one. Same idea, clue number 3. So in clue number 3, this is what you guys did last class. That's why we tied this in at this point of the lesson. So last class, you guys solved for y. To solve for y, we move the piece that's not attached. That's a 4x. So I subtract 4x on both sides. That leaves me with a 2y is negative 4x plus 8. Get y by itself by dividing everything by 2. So y equals negative 4 over 2 is a negative 2 with an x. 8 divided by 2 is a positive 4. We move the x, and then we divide the number in front. So we're doing the same thing. We're solving for suspect y. I circle the y. What did we do in the last one? We moved the x term, so subtract ax. Oh my goodness, this is ugly. Sorry, guys. So we need to move the x term, minus ax and minus ax. That makes that term go away. That leaves me with a by equals. These are not like terms. That's a c and that's an x. We can't put them together, so you put them next to each other. It doesn't matter which letter goes first. I like to go in order of the alphabet, so I'd put the negative ax first, and then that plus c, positive c in the back. Last step, get b by itself, so I can divide by b, and then I can divide by b. So y equals, oh my goodness, I don't know why it's doing this. Y equals negative ax plus c all over b. Okay, so on the left side, it's the algebra that you know. On the right side, we are extending your knowledge. Okay, I'll do one more with you, and then you guys will try the rest on your own. So in number 4, we are trying to get x by itself. To get x by itself, we're going to multiply 4 on both sides. 10 times 4 is 40. Same idea, suspect 4. We are solving for a. To solve for a, we need to move that b to the other side. So I'm going to times b and times b. We get rid of division by multiplying. So a equals 5b. Try the same thing with clue number 5, very similar to what you did before with mystery 5. Then try the same thing with clue number 6 and mystery 6. So you are solving for x on the left, which is something you know how to do. Then on the right, you do those same steps, the same steps you did to solve, but this time instead of just numbers, you have letters that we are moving to the other side. Once you complete through mystery 6, you are going to go ahead and try, the practice. So once you get through mystery 6, try our practice page. So the notes for what we do, good grief. Why is this being so crazy? Here we go, here we go. So our notes for what we do, if we're solving for a, I need to circle the a, and I need to move everything out of its way. Start with the term that is not attached. Get a by itself. Last step. Now that a is alone, a equals L minus 4b all over 2. Very easy. Okay, so work through this. You can work with a partner if you need to. Go ahead and solve for the letter that they're asking for. Whatever they want you to solve, circle that letter and move everything out of its way.